Hey everybody. So I'm studying for some penetration testing certifications, and I thought I'd do this video because I found this really cool tool when I was in the OSCP um, Discord channel, and it's a tool related to pivoting. And if you don't know what pivoting is when you're on a network and you gain a foothold on a machine, meaning you compromise a machine, and that machine is connected to a different network that you don't have access to. Um, so for example, if I can connect to machine one and I compromise machine one, when I get on machine one, I see that there's another interface pointing to a completely different network with a different subnet IP address scheming, right? Um, I would need to be able to use that machine that I got the foothold on to compromise machines on that new network. And that's not super great because you'd have to, install all kinds of tools and everything like that. It's not a good way to do things. So a better way is to set up some kind of system where your Kali machine can use the machine that you have a foothold on um, to access that new network. And this piece of software that I found is called Ligolo. And I think I'm saying that right. I will put the link to the GitHub repository down in the description below. But it's a tool that's used to tunnel from your attack machine through a machine that you have an initial foothold on so that you can use your Kali machine to attack the new network, which you didn't have access to previously. So just to kind of show you here, I'm going to do a if config on my machine just so you can see what interfaces we're looking at here. And I have a couple of Docker interfaces. You can ignore those. Ethernet 0, which is it's a bridged network. This is a virtual machine, obviously. It's a bridged network to my home network, so that's how I have internet access on the Kali box. And then Ethernet 1 is the interface that's connected to the network of the machine that I'm going to attack, the initial machine that I'm going to gain a foothold on, and then subsequently use Ligolo to be able to access additional machines on a separate network that I cannot access now. So you can see that the network, me and the machine that I'm going to compromise are on this 172.30.1 subnet. I know, because I set this up, obviously, that the machine also has an IP address of 10, 11, 12, 20. And I'll just show you that I don't have access to that currently. Okay. So Ligolo is going to help me with that. Now, the way we're going to do this is I just happen to know that the initial machine that we're going to compromise is vulnerable to eternal blue. So real quick, I'm just going to do MFS console. If I could spell correctly. MSF console is the Metasploit framework. So we're going to just give that a second to load. All right, and I'm going to search for Eternal. And Eternal Blue, the exploit MS17010 is option 0 up here, so I'm going to say use 0. We're going to type out options because if you've used Metasploit, you know you have options that you have to set in order to use these exploits. First and foremost, you can see that my L host is pointed to the wrong network, so I'm going to real quick just go set L host equal to Ethernet 1, which is going to put us on the right network. Then we're also going to set our host, which is the machine we're going to attack. We're going to make that 172.30.1.22, I believe, yes. And then we're going to run the exploit, and you see how easy this is. So here we go. We own that machine now. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to drop into a shell so I can show you something. So remember I said this machine that we attacked had another interface pointing to a different network. So if we do an IP config, because this is a Windows machine, you can see that this machine is on this 10, 11, 12 network, and it has the IP address of 20. So that is the network that we want to be able to get to on my Kali machine. So the way we're going to do that is, first and foremost, we need to upload the Ligolo agent to the machine that we want to have tunnel traffic for us to the new network. Okay, so I'm going to go into my downloads folder, and I have a folder called Ligolo agent. And if I do a ls in here, you can see that there's a Windows binary executable in here for the agent. And what I'm going to do is I need to get this on to this machine. So the simplest way to do that is to just start a Python HTTP server, which will serve files out of that directory to any machine that shares the same network. So I'm going to hit enter on that. You can see we're serving up those files now. And then I'm going to use a tool which is built into Windows, called certutil. And we're going to do certutil. And just so you know, the agent, I already have the agent on here, but I'll do it again just to show you how this works. So I'm going to do certutil, and then the options are URL cache, and the file, and HTTP, if I could spell again. And my machine, my Kali attack machine, which is 172.30.1.36, and you can see I started that web server on port 8000, and then the file that we want to transfer is agent.exe. Move my cursor here, and we want to save that to the local machine as agent.exe. So I'm going to hit enter. And you can see over here, the web server says, yep, we just served up something to somebody. And you can see that downloaded successfully. So we'll just do a quick dir agent star, and you can see the agents there. Okay. So we're going to do a little arranging here. Open another shell terminal. So just so we keep track of what we have here. This is the machine we compromised. This is my attack machine, and this is my attack machine. So we're going to kill this web server session because we don't need that anymore. And now we're going to go back a directory. And if I do a dir, you can see there's a Ligolo folder in here. I am going to go into that. And I'll do another ls. And you can see that we have this proxy executable in here. So one of the first things we need to do is we need to create an interface for Ligolo to use as the interface. When I say interface, I mean a network interface for Ligolo to use as the tunneling interface. The way we do that is you have to be root. So we're going to do sudo IP tun tap. And then we're going to add user Kali mode tun, and I'm going to call the interface Ligolo. I mean, you could call it whatever you want. I wouldn't make it anything too complicated. Hit enter. It's going to ask for my pseudo password. Okay, so that's done. Then we're going to do sudo IP link set Ligolo up. So this is setting the link up. You have to always turn up links in Linux. So we're going to do that. Okay. Next, we are going to come over and we're going to, as I said, there's this proxy executable in here. We're going to do proxy self-cert, meaning we're going to use our own certificate. There's options to where you can use Let's Encrypt, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to do self-cert. Now you got to remember that, because there's an option you have to do when you start the agent to basically, it tells it to ignore the cert. Otherwise, it's going to come back with a TLS error saying that the certificate's not valid. So we're going to start that up, and then we're going to come over here and we're going to get the agent started up. So we're going to do agent.exe, which is the executable we uploaded to the machine we compromised, and do connect my attack machine's IP address, port 11601. And then here, don't forget this, because if you do forget it, you're going to get an error. So we're going to say ignore cert. We're going to hit enter. And you can just see down here, we just got a connection saying that an agent has joined. Okay? So what we're going to want to do now is we're going to want to use the session command. You can just hit enter, type session, and that will give you a list of sessions that you have up, because you could have multiple pivots in here. You can set up as many as you want. These agents could be all over the place. Okay, this is like serious, like command and control type stuff you can do here. So we hit the session command, and then we're going to select the session we want to use, which is 1. Okay, so that is pretty much set. Next, we need to come over here, and what we need to do is we need to add the route to the new network on our attack box through the Ligolo interface. Okay, and the way you're going to do that is route add, and then it's 10.11.12.0/24. Device we're going to use is Ligolo, and that's what I called the interface. You're going to use whatever you called your interface for this. Okay. Oops. What did I do wrong there? Oh, I know what I did wrong. Sudo IP route. Sorry about that. And actually now I can just tap it out here. So that's the command, IP route. My bad. I'm thinking, for some reason, I think Windows, it's route. So sudo, which is super user do, IP route add the network that we want to get to, and device that we're going to use to get to it is Ligolo. And one thing I didn't show you over here is you can actually type ifconfig on this now, and it'll tell you on the compromised machine what agent. So this is the agent. You're actually running ifconfig on the agent, and it's telling you what its IP address is. So this is what you would use. Okay. So like I said, I just added this route. I'm going to add this route over here. Type my password, and it's there. So now I think I can just type IP route, and you'll see the route is right here, and it says link is down, and the reason for that is we haven't started the tunnel yet. So what we're going to do is come over here, now that we have the route in here and the agent's running and Ligolo proxy is running, we're going to start the tunnel. So we do that with the tunnel_start command, and the tunnel is Ligolo. Okay, and we're going to hit enter. So now the tunnel has started. So now if we come over here and we do IP route again, you can see now the link is up. So now we previously could not ping this IP address, okay, which is the second interface to the new network that we are trying to get to on our attack machine. But now with this tunnel up, we can ping it. Okay, so that means that we can get to that new network now from our Linux attack box. So I'm going to hit Control-C. So that means we can do something like crack map exec and then just run a SMB scan on the entire new network, And this is the way I would do it, or you could use netexec as well. Hit enter. So here's the machine we know about already. And here's the new machine, which is an Ubuntu box I have set up. And that's it. That's the only two machines on the network. So I can now ping that new machine that I know about, right? And I can even do something cool like, hey, previously I wouldn't have been able to do this. I can do an nmap and maybe do something like 10.11.12.21. So now you'll see over here a bunch of connections were refused. That's because those ports are probably closed and it's kicking back. But I assure you this is working. And you'll see because we'll actually get results. So here's all of the weaknesses on that new box that we previously couldn't get to because it was on a network that we theoretically didn't know about. All right. So just so you can see that the tunnel is actually what's causing this to work, right? I'm just going to do a continuous ping on 21. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to kill the agent. Okay. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to kill the tunnel. And that ping just stopped working. You can see now we're getting lost packets. So if I do Control C, wrong window, Control C, you'll see we had packet loss. So the packets basically stopped responding once that tunnel was down. So hopefully this is helpful to somebody. I just want to thank all the people at the OSCP Discord channel for just basically letting people know about this. This tool is really cool. Like I said, I will put the link to the GitHub repository down below. But in my mind, this makes pivoting like simple. You don't have to think about like reverse connections and port forwarding and all this other stuff. You can just theoretically, access all what you need to right from your attack box. I'm sure there's some limitations to it. Like I haven't done anything like heavy duty with this thing yet, but the things that I have done so far have worked perfectly. So just wanted to share this with everybody, and thanks for watching.